Hi, it's Claire Matara. This is the second part of this tiny little videos about the book called The Real Treasure by Rustom Falahati. Here he talks about divine will. Baba referred to Erich Jesawala as his mummy, for he looked after Baba's personal needs. Baba also referred to him as his friend, and said that Erich was his Peter when he was Christ. A pilgrim asked Erich, if everything happens by God's will, then what about murder, rape and robbery? Is that God's will too? Erich replied, everything is God's will. Even a leaf does not move without his will. But what is his will? We have to understand that first. His will is the law of karma, which simply means that what you do comes back to you. The law of karma is inviolable, unbreakable, and knows no exceptions. This is his will, and the whole universe is subject to it and governed by it. People who are murdered, robbed, or raped have committed similar acts in their past lives, and, as a matter of God's will, they are subject to the law of karma and have invited such incidents in their present life through their own actions. Erich paused and then added, let me explain it to you by a story. A king governs his kingdom and maintains harmony by means of laws which are implemented by his council of ministers with the help of his soldiers. Now, the law of the kingdom states that if someone commits robbery, he should be imprisoned, and a person committing murder should be hanged. In one village, a man commits robbery. He's tried and found guilty and put behind bars. Another man commits murder. He too is tried by the council of ministers and put to death. While this is happening, the king is not even aware of it, because the ministers and soldiers see to everything, and yet it still happens by the king's will. He does not do anything, but his will, through his law, governs the kingdom. It is the same with God's will too. God does not do anything, and yet the slightest movement of a leaf is governed by his will. The next chapter is Karma and Grace. Discussions about karma invariably lead to questions about whether one can alter one's karma. Once, in a response to such a discussion, Bal Natu told the following story. Suppose a man goes to the bank where he has an account, and he asks the banker for a sum of 1,500 rupees, because he wants to go on pilgrimage and he needs the money. The banker asks the man to wait, as he needs to check the man's account. After checking, the banker says, sorry, but you can only withdraw 1,000 rupees from your account, because that is all you have. Karma is like that. You only get what is due to you, which is decided by your actions, whether good or bad, which get recorded in your account as your sanskaras, your impressions. You can call it destiny. Now, if the banker's son was to approach him with the same request, asking for 1,500 rupees to go on a pilgrimage, the banker's response would be different. He would ask his son to take at least 2,000, and even then would express concern that it might not be sufficient for the journey. Baba's grace is like the banker's love for his son. He would not insist on checking his son's account. Out of love for his son, he would want to help. Baba's grace is like that. You have your karma following you from the past, but his grace supersedes the karma. In order to invite his grace, one has to remember him constantly and call out to him. Baal chuckled and added, we are like the foolish son who tells his father banker, Dad, I can't take 2,000 from you because I only have saved 1,500 in my account. The son could not understand his father's love and concern. In the same way, if we insist on going through our karma, instead of accepting Baba's loving grace, Baba says, all right, if you want what's due to you by way of karma, it's okay. I wanted to give you more by way of grace, but since you want karma, it's okay. And so that's the end of this little story. He says it so well. So in my life I always found that the best thing is to somehow ask for Baba's grace. And how can we get Baba's grace? By trying to please him, by trying to remember him. And of course maybe someone's listening who hasn't accepted Baba as his master, and that's fine. just translate the word to Christ or translate the word to God. Whatever you feel is what you live by, what you believe in the most. So it's the same thing. I found, because I've been with Baba 45 years, he's always responded to my needs or wishes, but sometimes I had to wait. I had to surrender it. I had to say, not my will, but your will. And also do good things for other people, because that helps to evoke his grace. If he can see that you're really trying to do the right thing, of course he will help you. Of course he will look after you and share all his love with you. So that's our part, to be obedient to what he says and to be a good person and to do our best to please him. And that's, really a good way to live. You will not be sorry in any way. God bless. Thank you for listening.